You know, this holiday season is crazy. When two of the hottest releases aren't even the Air Jordan 11. This is what I was expecting for premium on those 12s. This smells so good. Hey, what's going on, guys? My name's Chris. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. Today, we've got a detailed look and breakdown on these bad boys right here. This is kind of the one before the one, and no, I'm not talking about the airships. I'm talking about the prototype Air Jordan 1. So first things first, we do have a quick word from today's sponsor, and that's the good folks over at Bombas. Bombas, believe it or not, has been a reoccurring sponsor on the channel, and I'm greatly appreciative of that. I've been dabbling in quarter cuts, and I really love the vintage styling that they have here. So I got actually 3 different colorways, a maroon, a black, as well as a gray. But the majority of them come with their honeycomb arch support system, a seamless toe, a Y-stitch heel, as well as a cushioned footbed. And the best part about the brand is that every pair purchased equals 1 pair donated. All of that to say they also have a 100% happiness guarantee. So whether you're in the market for some brand new socks yourself, or you were looking for an inexpensive gift for somebody else, you could feel good and do good with Bombas, knowing that your purchase is doing some actual good out there in the world. If you're interested in trying out the brand for the first time, make sure that you use our link down below in the description box. It'll head you over to bombas.com, where you can check out everything that they have to offer. And don't forget to use our promo code, which you see on the screen right now, and it'll save you 20% off on your first purchase. All right, now these bad boys right here come in a fantastic style box. Obviously, it's just a regular Air Jordan 1 box, but they've got this wicked graphic on here. If you guys see this and you recognize it, hats off to you. This is an old ass picture right here. It was an original promo picture for the upcoming, or at least at the time, Air Jordan 1. Something that's cool to note is that when you look at the picture of the product itself, it says Air Jordan in place of the Wings logo. Meanwhile, he's actually wearing apparel with the Wings logo. Weird. And it's just because they weren't 100% sure on where they were going just yet. That's how the whole airship thing happened, where he was wearing versions of the airship with Air Jordan 1 tooling and all of this stuff. He signed right as a rookie, and they really were like not ready to go. So they were rushing to get product on this guy's feet before his first NBA game. So there's just a little bit of a, I wouldn't say a muddled history, but just not a really well put together history unless you follow the right people. MJO23 Dan is one of them. So if you haven't watched his videos on stuff like this, I highly recommend it. Now, when you open up the box lid, it says right here with a blank Wings logo, special attention M Jordan. One can only assume that this is kind of what they were giving to him as far as like, hey, this is gonna be your new shoe. So the events of the Air movie that we reviewed way back when, not quite like 110% accurate. The overall concept, yes, but obviously the details a little bit different. Also, the paper is very cool. Not only are there a lot of pictures of MJ himself, but you can see the original sketch work while they were trying to come up with the original branding or logo for the product. The shoes themselves do come equipped with 2 sets of laces. They're not in a box or in a baggie. They're literally inside of the shoe. Now, a lot of people are looking at this and they're being like, hey, I don't like that. And they're talking about the Air Jordan branding on the collar instead of the classic Wings logo. And I understand some people just don't love this look. I'm actually one of those people. I don't think that it looks fantastic, but I do appreciate the history of it. They've actually done this with Air Jordan 1s before. They were called the Air Jordan 1 Rare Air. They were a high top shoe. And again, they removed the Wings logo. They put on the Air Jordan Text logo instead. On the back, surprisingly enough, there was a stitched in Nike Air branding. And then on the tongue, instead of the Nike Air branding or Nike Air tab, there was a Jumpman tab. Those were not well received either. But again, this was a prototype, and I'm not sure as far as like how many prototypes of the Air Jordan 1 were made like this. I know that there was a black and red version, and I know that there was a black toe version. I'm not sure if there was a royal version or any other colors, but I'm pretty sure it was maybe just those 2. It would be interesting to know if there was a Chicago version out there. But what makes this pair so unique is that not only did MJ wear these in a game, but after the game, he actually gave them to a close friend of his, and then he actually wrote some notes on the inside collar, one of which is depicted right here on the left shoe. It's a little bit hard to see, but if you use a black light, you can see it just fine. And I think that it's really cool that the brand is paying homage to all of that history. And this is the part about the brand that I think is so unique, is that it does have a Hall of Fame, you know, what a lot of people consider to be like the greatest player ever, and they have all of this history intertwined within the brand itself, and they can use this. They have it at their disposal. They literally got it at their fingertips. And when you have a product like this really showcases or highlights that a lot more than just random colorways. Oh. But at the same time, they are a brand, so I understand the need to put out so much product because that's how you stay alive and please shareholders, increase overall revenue, and just grow infinitely. But I still think that product like this overshadows the rest of it, and I just think that this is the way to go. Now, as far as the shoe itself is concerned, it's still an Air Jordan 1, so we've got the greatest traction of all time right there on the bottom of the shoe. Moving on up, we've got a rubber cupsole. This is where I wish that these were an 85 release, because this is not. This is a, whatever you would call the current standard model of the Air Jordan 1 OG High, even though they don't look identical to the actual OG from 1984 or the original release from 1985. They don't have the same exact cupsole, but it is a cupsole nonetheless, so same exact tech and things like that, just not the same visuals. Inside that cupsole is a polyurethane wedge, and then inside of that wedge is an encapsulated air sole unit, hence Air Jordan. The midsole is done up in sail, but it's very faint. I do think that it would have been cool if these came with sail laces, but again, they're trying to make this feel like when you pulled them out of the box that you got the prototype yourself. You know what I mean? So however that they came way back in 84, that's what they want this to feel like. That's what those AirTech Challenge 2 retros were all about. They actually borrowed a friend of mine's pair. He had an original dead stock pair, and when you pulled them out of the box, the way that you see the current retro is exactly what his pair looks like. It's kind of crazy. They did the same kind of treatment with the Air Jordan 2 off-whites with that Virgil, you know, white and red Chicago low, where they scanned the actual shoe itself and then recreated in its current state. That's what the Air Jordan 3 white cement Reimagined is all about. I think it's dope. It's different, it's unique. I get it if you don't like that pre-age stuff. Not a lot of people do right now, but I think in certain applications, it really does work. The materials though are fantastic. Like that's the thing that I smell when I like, it's so good, dude. Like this is where like when the brand shines, it really fucking shines. And this is just a really good product right here. I'm not gonna say that it's the best leather ever, but when we're comparing this to other Air Jordan 1s, this is leaps and bounds better than most of it. It's very reminiscent of what we got on the Lost and Founds. Oh, that was another one. They're doing some really cool shit, dude. Like I don't know who wouldn't like this if you're a true sneaker fan and a history buff. But anyways, the leather is reminiscent of that pair minus that whole cracked thing. So this doesn't have any of those cracked features, which I personally prefer. Like this to me is just, it's solid. Even the white panels, like the underlay panels, are very soft, but not too soft. It's not like that, oh, I'm gonna take one step and then instant crease. Not like that. This is one of those shoes where when you break them in, they're just gonna look beautiful. They do have the slightly enlarged swoosh there, and also they have the black nylon tongue, which is a Air Jordan PE feature. So the retail pairs of the black toes actually had a white tongue, but MJ's pair were like this. And I really dig this, especially like this look right here with the red laces, because this reminds me of my first pair of black toes, which were the Old Love, New Love pack. I don't know if you guys remember those. They were mids and they were fucking amazing. Now the insole is this cheap piece of shit. Why we're not getting real polyurethane insoles anymore, I don't know. That's something that I will complain about in a future video that I teased earlier. Spoiler alert. Now, as far as sizing is concerned, they do fit like all of the more recent Air Jordan 1 High OGs. Whatever size you typically go with, that's what I would recommend. I personally go true to size. They fit great. For the OG lows, I do go down half a size because they don't have the high top collar and all the thick padding up here. But for the high tops, I go true to size and they're perfect. Now, with all that being said, what do we have for today's question of the day?
If you could only eat 3 Mexican meals for the rest of your life, which meals would you choose and why? You
know, I read this. I did not know that you were going to pick this. But yesterday I was going through the comments while I was driving to the basketball session, and I ran across that comment, and my immediate thought was tacos, burritos, and then my mind immediately went to pupusas, and I was like, is that Mexican food?
I don't think so.
Well, I know that like El Salvadorian food is not considered Mexican food, but I don't know if I still have it on.
You Googled it?
I sure did. I was being serious. I was just like, man, I really love pupusas, man. Like,
I took it as you walk into a taqueria and you have to make a full day of meals while you're there.
That's the thing though, when you walk into one of those, they got all that traditional like Mexican food.
I know, but for us to have pupusas, we have to Google where can we have pupusas. We can't just be like, hey, where's a taqueria? And
right. So it said something different. Yesterday it's telling me something different now, but it said that it was like originally part of all of that kind of shit, but it's its own thing now.
Probably because it's so time consuming to make.
What? No, I'm talking about just El Salvadorian, like the food, the culture.
Okay.
Like I was just like, is it originally Mexican food or is it only like El Salvadorian food? So yeah, if I could squeeze that one in, I totally would, or like have that be like an asterisk since it's so similar. Cultures are very similar, language very similar. That's what I would pick. But if I'm only sticking with Mexican food, like what we consider traditional Mexican food, I'm definitely going normal tacos, like the street style, burritos, and then I gotta have a little bit of a different texture in there with something, you know, something different. And so I would go with pozole.
Okay, I went chilaquiles or chilaquiles, and then I'd go street tacos and then pozole, because yeah, that's what I crave during the winter and when I'm sick.
I feel like the chips thing is a side and it'll always be there.
Yeah, but like
You know what
you
I
can
mean?
add eggs and stuff to it, so, and I
Oh,
like it that way.
I know, I think it's delicious, but I'm just saying that like, I feel like that is like, oh, I've got all, that's what I love about Mexican food. It's like, I got all the same ingredients, what can I do different? And so maybe that's an asterisk too, I don't know, but like, I wouldn't not make that, you know what I'm saying? Or have it. But yeah, those are my main three though, is like, I really would just stick with tacos primarily and the pozole. The burrito are for those random days where I'm like, I'm starving and like I want something heavy and then I'm gonna take a nap right afterwards. But anyways, what about you guys? What would you pick out of the Mexican dishes, traditional I guess, or whatever you would find at a local taqueria? Pick three for the rest of your life. That's all you can have. If you wanted to add a couple of extra things, and on top of that, let us know what you think about these guys in the comment section. I think that this is a fantastic release. This is when Jordan Brand truly shines, and I'm just really happy with them. So I hope that everybody else is able to experience the same thing that I am right now. I could smell the leather. Like, I just really hope that everybody that wants a pair can really get a pair. But with all that being said, thank you guys so much for everything. We really appreciate hanging out with you. I hope that you guys had fun and learned a couple of things. And with that being said, we will see you on the next one. So until then, y'all have a good one.